Oh, hi there. I'm Kat. Thank you for joining me for Chat with Kat. We're going on a journey and having conversations with people from a variety of backgrounds and experiences. And during this journey, we're going to probably laugh and smile. We'll have moments of compassion and cry. We may be angry or feel confronted, and we may be amazed and just need to ponder. So, whatever the emotion is that comes up, let's take a moment to breathe and ask ourselves why we're feeling this. And also, let's ask, what can I learn from this? So go ahead and like, share, subscribe to this, and make sure that your friends and family and colleagues and anyone you feel could get something from this gets to see this. So let's get on with our journey with Chat with Kat.
All right. Well, hi, JohnAnthony. It's so good to see you today. Thank you for joining me here with Chat with Kat.
Of course,
I
thanks for having me.
I know we know each other from our self-perfected group,
Mhm.
and I don't even actually know if we've even met in person. I think we've just met virtually.
Yeah, I don't think we've met in person either.
Well, and there are a lot of people who are probably going to join us and watch this later on. So they probably know nothing about you. So just share a little bit about yourself.
It's funny. Every time someone says share a little bit about yourself, I'm like having to figure out what do I want to pick because there's so much that's changed over the years. Let's see. I live in Houston, Texas. Um, I have a family, my wife, my son. He's 1 years old. Um, and we're really big on education. I'm 21, and have had a lot of challenges in my upbringing, and so I'm really grateful that I've been able to create everything that I have now. It's a beautiful home now. I have pretty much everything I could want. Whereas before, I was struggling with things like depression, suicide, right, drugs, all types of things that aren't effective being a part of this crazy world.
Mhm.
So I've kind of made it almost my mission to go out there and help other people who are also been struggling with those things that I was struggling with as well.
Mhm.
Um, I like pizza because that's something else about me. What about you? I don't know much about you, Miss Cat.
Yeah, I'm a Canadian. I'm living down in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Um,
Okay.
felt like for years Canada didn't feel like home anymore, and I didn't know where to go or how to get there. And then, COVID hit and the lockdowns, and I got put into the work from home space and decided that if I was working from home, why did I have to stay in Canada then? So I found a place to go and had a friend down here and decided, oh, okay, well, I'm going to come down here and love it. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. I've been there
yeah,
once. It's very fun. Very fun.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I was
getting beautiful weather all, pretty much all year round and, top quality food. It's fresh. It's like, yeah, I can't beat it.
nice.
Amazing people, right? So, yeah.
Cool. Go see different parts like Europe, Germany,
Yeah.
um, the Alps. I want to see a lot. But the our mentality now has been work extremely hard now while I'm young
Hmm.
and don't even think about like the playtime as much really. Like I'm
Right.
not a boring guy, but I try not to be. But eventually, once I've worked to a point where I do not have to go anywhere physically in order to
Hmm.
generate income, that's the time where I can just go and do whatever I'd like. If we want to teach our son something about France, we can literally go there.
Hmm.
So that's a kind of lifestyle, or that's a kind of the future that I'm looking to build.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
And you mentioned that you had a journey with depression and drugs and suicide. So, how did you go from that to actually into self growth and development?
So your question. So my mom as a friend, and we used to all go to the same spiritual community, spiritual like group. It's almost like a church,
Mm-hmm.
but not. And the thing there was, it always felt nice when I was there, but time and time and time again, it didn't look like anybody's lives was actually improving on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a quote that I heard from someone who's really, really successful was inner change without immediate outer change is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really hard pill for me to swallow because I kept convincing myself that I was changing, but nothing on the outside was changing. So um, after kind of like being in that environment over and over and over again, right? Not just the spiritual stuff, but going to school where in the bathrooms they're doing lines of cocaine, and it's just wild, like pretty much everywhere. Um, Eventually, I got to a point where it was like I don't. There's no point of being here. So that was its own entire crazy thing. And eventually, I got to a point where I did actually attempt to end my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that friend that I was telling you about, my mom's friend, he heard about it and he came over. He was like, he was talking with my mom. And at that time, one of his friends just ended their life.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, okay, I can't have this happen again. And so on top of that, he also was struggling in the past with wanting to end his life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at a lot of trauma here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he found something that took him from being in that space to being able to just cognitively function, right? Being able to actually have conversations without going into this whole like mental spiral. He was able to actually create wealth for himself and his family. Um, and so he was like, okay, I'm not going to hoard this when I see that my brother is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes over and shows us, and we decide, hey, we have nothing to lose. Let's go ahead and move forward with it. It was interesting because the theme was like, this is education. And in my head, I'm like, I'm already educated. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart in school. Like I don't need what's the point of this? And
Mm-hmm.
then he kind of like takes me to the side and goes a bit deeper, and he's like, there's a there's different realms of education. And if you want to break it down, vocabulary, which is the basis of pretty much everything, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can be a doctor who has a really high vocabulary in medical, but then you're presented with a car trouble problem and you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to fix your car, then that means you just don't have a vocabulary of how to fix your car. It doesn't mean that you're just dumb altogether. It
Mm-hmm.
just means there's sections of different vocabulary sets, right? So in my case, I didn't have the vocabulary set of emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I didn't have the vocabulary set of how to communicate effectively, relationship, right? Anything pretty much on that entire realm of like real life stuff, right? Not I knew how to do the y equals mx plus b and a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? The stuff that's like okay.
Yeah.
I memorized my periodic table, right? But it came to
Mm-hmm.
real life. I didn't have that knocked down. And so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is what I'm offering is something that allows you to pretty much develop that. And so move forward, and from there, the journey started off pretty rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was still picking up my own pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had the help of this amazing community, self-perfected. And I've been probably a part of this thing for almost 3 years. And went from there to eventually getting into a relationship. that wasn't founded off of just a bunch of super toxic mess,
Mhm.
just a bunch of arguments all the time. We went ahead and wrote out different agreements. Okay,
Mhm.
this is what we're going to commit to the relationship, which was new for me.
Mhm.
Um, but was something that I saw was the reason a lot of relationships fail, because they're thinking that their roles are something different. They're
Mhm.
changing their minds all the time. So they don't have anything on paper to kind of come back to and say, hey, this is what we agreed to.
Mhm.
Um, and so even from there, I started figuring out also the vocabulary of how to generate income, how to make money. And we found out she was pregnant.
Mhm.
And from there, the pressure was really on, because I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm making a little bit. My wife is pregnant. I do not want her to work. I want to retire my wife,
Mhm.
which is something that nobody in my family has ever done. Um, I want to retire my wife. So I have to really step it up and figure it out right now. And so I just went back to the tool that was presented to me. I worked really, really hard on it. And went from there to, you got our first place, got our first apartment. And then I finally got a car, because before then I was riding my bike to work.
Mhm.
Um, and then after I got my car, then she was able to pick the way that she wanted to have the baby delivered, which is also such a blessing. Oh my goodness. Um, a lot of people, they think that they don't have many options. And that also comes from a lack of knowing, right? But
Mhm.
the finance part is a really big part of that. We did a natural birth, all natural birth,
Mhm.
and we did it on like this farm. It was really calm and nice, and she loved it. The lady wasn't pressuring at all. She was very understanding and calming. And sometimes in these hospitals, it's like they're really forceful. They're not really considering what the woman wants. They're just doing
Mhm.
stuff without even asking the mom or the dad, stuff that's actually harmful to the baby.
Mhm.
So we were able to do that, which was amazing. And then once he was here, my son, then another level of pressure kind of kicked in. And I was like, okay, I'm making a good amount of money. She's not working. I have one car. We have a 1 bedroom apartment. But I have a son, and I want him to be able to run around in the yard. I want my
Mhm.
wife to be able to drive around when she wants. Like, we need more things so
Mhm.
that we, are not limited. So once again, I returned back to my tool. I worked really, really hard. And from there, now I have 2 cars. She
Mhm.
has her own, and I have mine. We have a 4 bedroom, 2-story house. It's really, really big, and it's like beautiful area. There's a park and a pool like literally right behind our house. We picked this one specifically because of that.
Nice.
So he can just go right down there when he wants. Um, and my relationship with my parents has just significantly grown. Like, it's crazy. I used to hate them, and they felt like they hated me too because of the way I treated them.
Mhm.
So now we're able to actually have conversations. I enjoy their company. We go out to places and stuff like that. So it's just all around, like full circle. Um, Pretty much every area and aspect of my life has grown because I figured out that education piece is super important. And
Mhm.
it's really difficult, right? Because some people do see that education is an issue, but the way that they try and solve that problem
Mhm.
either keeps it the same or only makes you worse, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people think, okay, education, all right, that means school. So they'll spend a bunch of money at school,
Mhm.
and then it takes them 4 to 8 years to realize, oh shoot, like I don't, I'm just as clueless as when I first started.
Mhm.
And now I done changed majors, and now I'm, in student loan debt.
Mhm.
And now the major that I had is a job that doesn't even exist yet because AI took it over. Like, there's so many like shaky things
Mhm.
with taking education with that route, right? But just really, really grateful that My mom's friend came in and introduced that to us. Otherwise, I would have been in another place or not here for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so incredible that that somebody was able to present you with something that just worked so well, and it was able to make sense to you and really show you like how to use it and how to get the most out of it and change your life. Because I think a lot of people don't have those people in their lives who care enough to like show them something and really spend time with them to help them understand it, or they don't even have the resources of anything to support them. Like they don't have any person or any tool, and so what are they relying on? Whatever is available within their community, and I put that in quotes because community is like what their maybe the neighborhood they live in, or something like
Two
that.
friends on social media.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, your life has changed drastically for the best with all of this.
Yeah.
But how long did that take you? Because it sounds like this has been like a huge journey that would have taken you, so many years to do.
Yeah, that's a really big thing that a lot of people get caught up on when I tell them the answer to this. I kind of hinted at it earlier, but some people don't believe me because of how quick it was. But it's I'm 21 now. When I started, I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the just the trajectory change is so crazy. Um, went from making $50 a day. Well, went from having no job to making $50 a day to now making five figures every 2 weeks. Like that's
Yeah.
just I'm it blows my mind that I'm in the position I'm in right now. But it makes sense because I mean I have the tools and I have the best support, right? Um so yeah, it's about 3 years. It's not a full 3 years yet.
Wow.
But yeah, it went by like this, man. I remember like yesterday that I had locks, I had my eyebrow piercing, my nose was pierced.
Yeah.
I was like this goth street hood, all of this, all of the best stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to be a rapper. That was fun. I still like making music, but I
Yeah.
was this cat.
Whole other world.
Whole other world, Miss Cat. You would never recognize me. Right
Oh
now
my God.
we have plants. Well, more plants out of here.
Yeah.
We got plants everywhere. There's books everywhere, all around the house. It's like the things that I value and prioritize now. This is sitting on a bunch of books, actually.
Nice.
There's books everywhere. So yeah, the things that I prioritize now are just completely different, but it definitely took some time, right? Just not nearly as much time as it would take other people
Right.
without the tools that we have.
So, I mean, and a lot of people are going to hear that and go, "Oh, that's incredible. Less than 3 years, you did all of this." They're going to think this is like nonsense, right? They're going to,
Yeah,
how can this be possible? Nothing happens
yeah,
that fast. But
yeah.
you said you worked really hard too, though. So, I mean, that probably adds into the equation there on how fast you were able to like make this happen, right?
Yeah, um, I did. However, when a lot of people hear that, they hear, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. He worked hard." I don't know how to work hard, and I can't work hard, and I don't have the discipline to work hard. So, what he was able to do is something I'll never be able to do. Um, while I did work hard, there were a lot of times where discipline was very shaky as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's its own vocabulary set as well. You have to learn how to be disciplined, especially when we're not taught from our own family members, our father, mother, right? Like if we're not instilled what it means to really be disciplined instead of just being motivated to do things, like the difference between motivation and discipline, understanding that, it's That's a whole other thing too. If you don't have that, it feels really disempowering whenever you see someone like Kobe Bryant, for example, or
Mm-hmm.
someone who's just like made it by being a really hard worker and started off with nothing. You're like, man, I could be that, but I can't do that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, what I would say to that person is, I was in your shoes, right? Like, I didn't have it locked down at all of how to be disciplined. I woke up
Mm-hmm.
at a different time every single day,
Mm-hmm.
um, usually in the afternoon. I was watching TV all the time when I first started. Like, I was eating all bad foods. So it's more of when you have a group where you can actually go to and say, "Hey, I need support with this,"
Mm-hmm.
and then they give you an actual answer that really works. That builds your confidence. That, okay, I can fall and I still will be able to get up. So that's the thing. A lot of people are they're fearful of not being able to get up, not having the support system help pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had that, and I have that now, right? And so that I think is a really big point, a really big part, because honestly, if it was just the tool that I was
Mm-hmm.
given and not the community, I don't think I'd be here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The it's like I was given a Ferrari, but I would have known how to drive it because I don't know how to drive manual, and I don't know how to. I don't. I don't know how to drive at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's the Ferrari is only as good as the driver. So
Right.
you have someone that's there teaching you, saying, "Hey, it's okay, right? If you crash, you can buy another one." Right? Like you have someone there in your corner, and not just one person, but thousands of people in your
Mm-hmm.
corner from all around the world. It's like, well, I'm invincible. Like anything can happen to me, and I'll still be able to figure it out. And
Mm-hmm.
even if I can't, I can call on anybody, and I'll get the support that I need. And then that relationship starts to flip, where now people are calling me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who's being able to be in their corner. And that is actually the biggest blessing. That is, to me, the biggest flex over any of the like material things I've been able to get.
Mm-hmm.
The most fulfillment that I've gotten from starting this journey is being able to impact other people's lives in the same way mine was.
Mm-hmm.
That is so big for me, right? Like I got a call. It was a few weeks ago. One of my clients, he called me at like midnight. So I'm like, oh no, oh snap, like something's up. There's an
Wow.
emergency. So I'm not gonna answer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of crying. I'm like, yep, let's breathe, slow it down, talk to me. What's happening? And he's like, JohnAnthony, um, I just really want to thank you because nothing in my life would be what it is right now if you didn't share what this was with me.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I kind of started to like try to like go away from that because I was like, well, no, like it's not all about me. It's like real egotistical. Like I didn't want to take the compliment
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, well, this was given to me, so it's not my thing anyways. Like it's like I helped somebody else from being helped. So I didn't want to I started going into my own head. I'm like, oh, he doesn't get the point. Like it's not me. But then I just realized like, no, he kind of needs this in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
He is vulnerable and he probably hasn't had many chances to express gratitude. And so that's why he's doing it. So I let him keep going, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
just like every single time I call, you pick up, you're there. And I have a relationship actually with my mom and dad before we couldn't even speak the same language. We couldn't talk. Uh, they didn't want anything to do with me. They're always disappointed in me. And
Mm-hmm.
now I don't feel like a stranger in my own home. And so I just told them thank you for those words. Right. But it's like things like that. And That's just one of them. But that to me is the best form of currency. Like, how can you measure the impact you had on someone else's life?
Right.
Right. And so those people, there's a lot of those people who, a lot of my clients who first also struggled with being able to put in hard work. Right? But I did sports growing up. And so when I first started, I didn't want to, do weightlifting. I didn't want to do the running, the back and forth, like all the training. When you have a coach there, like that's a supportive coach, you can do it. One more, you got it. It's so much easier. So much. Now imagine you have a bunch of coaches who are educated and have genuinely your best interest. Like, you have to try to fail at that point. and there's not many people who have to try to fail because they've been failing already.
Right.
So, so yeah, that would be I guess that would be my answer to that part.
And that's such an incredible journey that you've had, but now that you're also being able to impact others and see that as well, that there's people are having a difference in their lives too. So it's not just like, hey, it worked for me, right? Like it's like, oh no, this is actually working for other people as well. So
yeah.
So how does so many people have talked about community, and we talk in length on community on different calls, but I mean, tell me what community really means for you, because I think everybody has a different version of what community is for them.
That's a great question. So community, we're talking about vocabulary, right? It's a combination of two words: communication and unity. Okay. With any group, right, usually they're together because they agree on a few things. Okay. The easiest way to look at this is in like a religion, right? Let's take Muslim. They agree on a doctrine, and they agree on certain beliefs. So when they communicate, they're agreeing. Their communication is in unity. So anytime you have that creates a sort of community, right? Now, you look at the world, none of us can agree on certain things. So none of us are in unity, right? Even under the Christian religion itself, there's like thousands of denominations, I think, right? And so even those different denominations don't completely agree on what certain verses mean or what God meant in this story, right? Or just different cases, right? But they're the opposite of a community because they clash. Right? You get into debates and get into arguments. And so you look at like the bigger scale of the entire world, right? That's a reason why a lot of the problems are the way that they are now. I'm gonna butcher this, but I think it was some type of community, maybe it was NATO, but the countries got together and asked the question of should food be a natural human right?
Right.
And everyone agreed. All the countries agreed in the world, I believe, except for two. And it was America and I think Israel.
Okay.
And it's like something that should be such a simple question, right? Like a baby being put on this earth that technically didn't ask to be here. You're saying that it's not their right to be able to develop naturally. Right? We can't even agree on that. And so what I've seen is that, okay, one of the best ways to get everybody on the same trajectory of growth is to have everyone in unity with communication. Now, the problem with that is that everyone has different definitions for the same words. A lot of people are miseducated on what different words mean. So when two people are talking, like when they're in a relationship, one person is saying one thing and this person is hearing a completely different thing than what this person is saying. And then this person is like, well, why'd you say that? Because this, and that. And they're like, what? I didn't even say that, but because you said that, and it's just, that's how arguments are started. Okay?
Right.
And so from there, that relationship ends up falling. It ends up creating a lot of stress, a lot of,
Mhm.
all the things that we obviously know come from having a bad relationship.
Mhm.
Right. And so we kind of look at that individual relationship. You can also make it a parallel to the world. A lot of conflict, a lot of chaos happens when the communication is not on the same level.
Mm.
So part of what part of what our journey encompasses is neutralizing and bringing our communication to the same
Mhm.
level. Right? The words that we're using, we have the same definition for them. A lot of
Mhm.
people, they unintentionally, unconsciously make up their own definitions for words.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you can. What was it? There's this one of my clients. He called me and he was like, "Hey, man, my girlfriend, she's mad at me, um, because I want to go get this tattoo, right? Something." And I'm like, "Oh, she's mad at you because you want to get a tattoo? Okay, well, why?"
Mhm.
And he was like, "Well, she's saying that if I get a tattoo, that she's gonna start wearing more revealing clothing, which we already talked about that I don't like. But she's kind of like putting the ultimatum on me." And I was like, "Why? Is she like why would she do that? I don't get it." And he's like, well, she's saying that I'm just trying to get it to look cuter. And so I'm gonna be more attractive, and that means if I do that, then she's gonna do that as well, just with her body." And I was like, "Well, where did she get that from?" And he was
Mhm.
like, "Well, she keeps taking me back to this script and the scripture. They're Catholic,
Mm.
and this was maybe a year ago, so I'm also going to butcher this, but it had something to do with the mark of the beast.
Mm.
Um, the context though was, if you, I think it was, you put a upside down cross in blood, right, on your forehead, then you're
Mhm.
signaling that you either want to go to hell or you want something to do with Satan, something along those lines. Where it was more literal mark of the
Right.
beast, not a tattoo.
Right.
So she was interpreting mark of the beast as any markings on your skin.
Okay.
And so because she had a different definition of mark,
Mhm.
she didn't have the context behind what mark meant in that moment. It created this
Mhm.
entire thing where it really was just an excuse to justify the insecurity,
Mm.
right? And they both had it, right? It's not just her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, in that case, anyone with freckles is going to hell. Like,
or a mole or a
or a
birthmark or
mole,
anything,
right?
right? Like
Yeah, kids draw on their face all the time.
yeah, they get the markers and it's the permanent ones, right?
Yeah. Oh, you can't do face paint.
No.
Oh, so
Oh boy. And those
I,
kids' temporary tattoos, those are out.
oh my goodness, those are fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those were real fun. But it's like there was an example there, right? Because that was there, it was like the basis of this entire thing that actually was very big to them. Like
Hmm.
they were about to, he was telling me about breaking up with her and everything. Just because of
Wow.
this one word that was not defined. Mark.
Wow.
So we look at that and there's hundreds of thousands of words that we don't have defined right. Now we can see, okay,
Hmm.
I see where the problem is. Um, and so a big part of my journey here of why it's been so successful is because we are focusing on that part of equalizing our communication,
Hmm.
right? So that we can all be in true unity. We actually understand what we're talking about and we agree on all these different points. So
Wow. And that's a big takeaway. I don't know if a lot of people are going to catch that, but the fact that community based in communication and understanding
yeah,
um, it's not just necessarily based on, hey, I grew up with these people, so this is my community, or this is the environment I choose to, a church or a school or whatever group I choose to be in, that's the community.
Mm-hmm.
But actually understanding like what makes up the community, right? And I mean, obviously there is the same like belief systems as well, right? You have to have similar beliefs as the other people to really have that community as well, a strong community, I would say, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that comes all back down to communication and language as well. So,
Yeah, 1,000%.
wow. So with the community like that you're building, then what is I guess what is the biggest things you want people to know about the community, or know, like what is the biggest thing you want to bring to the community then that you're building?
Peace. Peace is something internally every human is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Something I firmly believe. And that's not something everyone's going to agree with, because some people are going to be able to look at other people and like, this person is starting a war. How can they look for peace?
Mm-hmm.
But what's the best way to explain this? All right, you take a bully for an example. The
Mm-hmm.
bully is the same type of person that person is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bully is actively creating violence. Okay. But it's also because he has a war in his head, right, of different emotions, battles, traumas that bully is going through.
Mm-hmm.
And because he does not know how to deal with them effectively, he's taking it out on the world. So he
Right.
wants peace here, right? And he's just seeking it out in the wrong way. He wants internally to be peaceful. Because when he goes home, he probably has a very hard life as well. Now, there's a lot of context, especially when you get into politics, that makes it a little bit easier to understand that concept. But for a lot of people, it might be difficult in the beginning. But let's just talk about like for the 99%, like the middle class and lower class, most people can agree that they want peace, right? Being able to come home and have a relaxing evening. That I'm not stressed out all the time because of bills, because of oh, out of nowhere, this emergency popped up, so now we're in a financial rut again. I can actually talk with my husband. I can actually talk with my wife, and we're not always arguing. I have a great relationship with my parents, so my in-laws are not bothering me. Like peace, people want to be at peace. And the thing is, a lot of people don't agree on how to achieve that peace.
Right.
A lot of people have their different ideas, but you look at those ideas scaled out, they don't help everybody. Right? And just looking over like period of time, okay, you've had this idea for 5 years. How has that idea created more peace for you?
Right.
How has that idea created more peace for your community, for your city, for your country? And being honest with yourself about that is really, really hard, because if the answer to that is, I don't know, maybe it hasn't created peace, then that means that it goes completely against all the hard work you've been putting in for those last 5 years. It means you have to go against yourself. And that is very, very difficult, right? But you look at a path that forks into two. One is the wrong way, one is the right way. The further you go down the wrong road, you're going to have to do a lot of work to turn back around, come back. And if you're the individual who has a lot of ego and, okay, I've put in all this hard work, you're not going to want to turn around. You're like, I've already put in all the hard work here. I'm going to figure it out. And it's like all the signs are saying the wrong way. So with that, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's also the emotional attachment to that too, right? Like, it's not just I put in this hard work, but it could be even like I put in all this money and I'm so emotionally attached to this money that I can't even let go of the fact that I spent all this money for this thing or to achieve this thing. So now I have to try to keep going to make it worthwhile, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point, actually. Um, and so even with the families that I'm with on a day-to-day basis, they're starting to really see the point of why homeschooling, when the parent is educated,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's a big point. If the parent is not educated, homeschooling is gonna be pretty bad. But when the parent takes the responsibility to educate themselves, homeschooling really gives you access to so much more,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, there's so many kids who are in public school who are just being influenced by all the wrong things. And the parents are looking at their children coming back home and like, I don't know my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this kid. They're saying all these weird phrases that I've never heard in my life ever. They're talking about things that they're interested in that they didn't even talk about last week. Um, they never want to talk to me. They're struggling with something, but I can't tell because I can't talk to them because they don't want to talk to me. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
very stressful experience as a parent. And I know because my mom was one of them. And so, right, being the parent that is in your child's life constantly, um, when they need you, right? And then also in some cases when you need them,
Mm-hmm.
right? That gives you the opportunity to really be able to take care of all these different points. So when I say peace, right, some people think that means not not working or not having to take responsibilities for anything. That's like a
Mm-hmm.
misconception, right? More responsibility equals the ability to have more peace, right? The whole Spider-Man quote with great power comes
Mm-hmm.
great responsibility. I think it's also reverse, right? With great responsibility comes great power.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have that power, you can create the life that you want, right? Like I am very peaceful in this neighborhood. Whereas before, there's gunshots going on. Like I had several friends that died from gun violence down the
Mm-hmm.
street from where I lived. And so when you are promoting, hey, like let's figure out the money issue for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
so you can actually create the lifestyle that you want, right? Let's help out the families that are also in that neighborhood. So it's not just you who's getting some type of benefit, it's everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? That we're actively moving closer and closer to really being peaceful. So I think I think that is to me one of the most important factors, right? And then also too, like there's another side note. There's sorry, I just had a thought in my head. I thought about the hippies. Or like on shrooms and stuff. So like peace, dude. um there's also a lot of people who they may not understand this in that moment, but there's a false perception of peace as well. Um, especially when you introduce narcotics, because anything that you come back to reality and something is different, it means it's only up here. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist. And that's I get it. A lot of people are probably not going to agree. That's a whole different conversation. I probably have to have with that person one on one, share with them what
Mm.
the consequences are of that lifestyle because I've lived it. So I'm only
Right.
speaking from experience. Um, now the but yeah, to kind of wrap up on that point, there's probably a big percentage of people who think that they're achieving peace, but it's only because they're ignoring the chaos
Mm.
and they're focusing on these little good moments, right? Like scrolling on your phone is a great example. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are scrolling on their phone, so in that moment they're blissful because dopamine is like just shooting off,
Mm-hmm.
but they have an eviction notice on their front door, or they don't have any money, or that partner is out there cheating on you, or like all these other things, like they're not even considering in that moment because they really want to just run away from it. And you can't really blame them because this world is very, very hard. Right? When you don't
Mm-hmm.
believe you have a solution, the only thing is to go to something that makes you feel at peace. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing that makes you feel good. Right? That
Mm-hmm.
TV show, the guilty pleasures, right? All those things that we know are probably not best for ourselves.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was good to bring up too.
Yeah. The guilty pleasures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having a wife that knows how to cook. That's hard, man. And bake.
Oh, she's got it all.
Yes.
Oh,
I chose the wrong one. She
you
makes it
just
too
have
hard.
so many guys just go, man, you are the luckiest dude around.
Yeah. Yeah, every night, man. That's another peaceful thing, right? Like, dude, she mixes it up too. She'll make lunch, dinner, and dessert, and then breakfast. Like the other day, she made some crazy pancakes. She made like steak. Yesterday was like basil. It was like pesto shrimp noodles with cheddar biscuits that she made homemade sourdough. All so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me stop.
I was gonna say you better not just keep going.
Yeah,
People are gonna be
yeah.
knocking on your door wanting dinner. So
Yeah.
we're like, I heard the good food's here.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Oh. And so did you two meet in the community or did you meet before you were in this? How did that all like were you because I know a lot of people met their partners within the group.
Yeah, we're actually one of the only ones who haven't. We met in high school.
Oh, okay.
So I could say we're high school sweethearts, but we're not even that old. She's 20, I'm 21. So um we're yeah, we met senior year of high school. She's actually Hawaiian, so she moved here from home.
Hmm.
I keep saying 3 years ago, but it was 3 years ago when I met her, or 2 years ago when I met her. So I think she did the last 2 years of high school in Texas.
Oh, okay.
hmm And so I met you there, but very interesting how we met. I was coming out of a very toxic relationship that um, made a lot of poor choices after. And this was before I think I got the tool. Or no. I got it right after. And I always knew I wanted to be in a relationship. Okay. I tried being in a relationship several times and it just kept failing. And that kind of contributed to a lot of the suicidal thoughts I had because that was like one of
Hmm.
the only things I wanted besides being, wealthy. But I wanted a happy marriage, happy
Hmm.
relationship. And I just never could have it. So I was like, there's no hope for me. Like I'm doomed,
Mm.
I'm cursed. This is, what I was thinking. And so I had the tool and just immediately, little by little, of course,
Hmm.
my thoughts started to change. And I started to consider maybe I can not choose the people who are obviously not in the space to want to change.
Hmm.
Right? Maybe I don't have to choose the people who are not only abusing themselves but abusing other people,
Hmm.
right? And then say, okay, I can't make that work. Um, so from there, I was like, all right, let me just try something new. Let me try something fresh. Kaylana, she was very shy. She's very like um timid and didn't look like she was searching for attention.
Hmm.
Um, she was very respectful and just really calm. And it's not to say like she was, perfect, right? It's what I was thinking in that moment. Like it was so long ago, but even thinking someone is perfect really puts a lot of pressure on that other person to not mess
Mm.
up. So that's not fair to the other person in the relationship. But mistakes were made, and I was like, oh my goodness, she's perfect. And we got together, and it actually started off really, really great. I was walking her home from school because remember I had a bike, and we started to get to know each other. We went to prom, and eventually, over time, that honeymoon phase kind of starts to leave, and now we're left with now the raw, and it kind of seems to always slim into you like a rock. Like we just been good this whole time. It's usually 3 months, but sometimes it's longer for people. Um, and so we started to kind of get into a bunch of different conflicts with just the way we go about certain situations. Um, she was definitely uncomfortable with my past, and we just were always getting into it. And she tells me one day, it's like at night, she's like, "Hey, if something doesn't change, I'm gonna have to figure something else out." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I can't do this again." So I go back to the community, say, "Hey, I mean, I forgot who I talked to about this, but I was like, I really want to make this work. And I know I can because I've seen all the successful relationship stories in our community." Um, and they're like, "Well, have you been using your tool?" I'm like, "I've been slacking." They're like, "Well, try that." Just try that and then come back. And so I did, and instantly she saw a change. It was, by the way, to paint a picture, it was so, this is how bad it was. I used to have seizures because of how emotionally unstable I would get. Uh, I've been through so much that whenever something too troubling, for lack of better words, were to approach me, I would start physically like convulsing and seizing. And so it often happened. It maybe happened like 2 or 3 times a week. I had to go to the hospital for it. Like they told me to take medication, and sometimes I didn't want to go to school because of it. So I was struggling with not even emotional. Like it was so emotional that it bled into the physical. And so here's where the difficult part comes. Uh, Anytime she wanted to bring up something that she wanted to change in the relationship, and she's like, "Hey, I wanted to talk about something." Instantly, it would trigger this like emotion of not feeling good enough. The victim, I can't do anything right, and that was the one feeling that was the hardest for me to be with. I couldn't really be with that thought or emotion or feeling, and so every time I started convulsing, every time I started seizing. And so instead of her getting the opportunity to express what she needs to express, which she has not had a platform to do that in the past anyways. Her own environment she wasn't able to express. So she's trying to practice that with me. And she wants the relationship to get better. And now because I'm seizing, she has to step out of that, go back into suppression, and then now take care of me. And so over time, like the first few times, it's like, okay, I'm taking care of my partner, but over time, it's like, well, we're not going to get anywhere. It's not sustainable. And so that's how bad it was. I would literally get into a seizure every time she wanted to talk about something. And so she saw, after I started using the tool, right? Um, she saw instantly, like, okay, I wasn't having those anymore. I was taking no responsibility. I was saying, hey, this is, I think, where I can grow from here. I was asking her questions. We were both having different conversations and figuring out where we can go from there. And so from there, she didn't even need to see the tool. She just was like, something's working. I don't know what, but I want it. And so we set it up, and she got it right then and there. And from there kind of is when everything started taking off really.
So
And
I
really
just want to
bad.
say before we jump back in, you just moved locations. This is the same day, right?
Yeah.
We didn't do this on 2 different days.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be crazy if I wore the same shirt.
So we've talked about community and peace, and you were talking about in your relationship with your wife and how she started doing the tools as well.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So there was a big change. Like she just started that because she saw that you were making such a big change in your life that she was like, "What is this thing?" Or
Yeah. She was. It wasn't even really. I guess it was a curiosity, but it was more of a. It was more of a like I just want it. It was so it's funny. I never seen somebody that like motivated to get something. She saw, I guess she was struggling a lot more than I had realized in our relationship. And because I was taking more responsibility, she was like, oh, this is nice. But also too, we are getting to a point where I was developing so much in my communication to where now, say her level of vocabulary is here and I'm developing. And I think she started to notice the gap. So she was like, there's some things he's saying I can't understand. Like I can tell that he gets this in a way that I don't, and that bothers me. So she that might have influenced like her desire to want to grow because it's I mean it doesn't feel nice to be in a relationship and you can't understand your partner because of the language
right.
barrier, right? So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, that's interesting that you were able to both be on this journey and kind of come into it different ways. That it wasn't because you said, "Hey, you really need this tool," or I mean, it was more of just an observation on her part and going, "Say, there's something here. I need something more." But because I think a lot of people do, they either start it together or around the
Mm-hmm.
same time, and it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
well, hey, it'd be great for you to do this too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people are really like in the relationship already and then separately coming to using the tools. And
Yeah. I think that's I think that I think the fact that that can happen shows really like the power, right? Like the how effective it really is. Because results, you should be able to see them, right? You should be able to when something makes a claim of how how it can change your life, you should be able to see how it's changed your life. So when someone can just see, right? That's the same thing that happened to my mom. My mom, when we got the tool, she didn't even use it. She just got it because she was like me and my brother wanted to use it. But then she's our mom, right? So she's seen where we were at, and she's seeing us rapidly develop, and she's like, "What the, what? Whoa!" And so eventually, like now, she's using it all the time, right? And it's really really cool because we're able to have real conversations as well. Whereas before, it was like, "You don't know anything. You're too young." Like do as I say. Like it's a bunch of what most kids go through, which is you're not really worth much and you don't have any experience, so shut up. Right, so that's kind of what I experienced most of my life, really. Um, and so the fact that she's able to now step out of that when she was in it for 50 years, like that's also one of the biggest parts. You know how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Oh, she learned some new tricks.
yeah.
Mom, you're not old if you're listening. You're not old. You can't teach a mature dog new tricks.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like the older you are, you've got more stuff to deal with too, right? And you have a whole more programming that you've been living a lot longer. So it's a
Hmm.
little bit more challenging, I think, than, if you get it
No,
when you're younger.
1000%. Yeah, you're further down that road.
Yeah.
Years, decades further down that road. So
Hmm.
having, not only do you have to cross more to come back and go on the right path, but you have more emotional buildup, like you were saying earlier, more literal. I've worked hard to get to this point build up as well. Ego, your
Hmm.
identity, like everything gets challenged. So
Hmm.
it's definitely not
Yeah.
easy. And that's why I try to be understanding with my mom as much as possible whenever she does run into different conflicts or situations where she's like, okay, I want to figure this out. There's something that I want help on. I try to be as empathetic as possible because I I don't really know what it's like to have been here for that long and struggle for that long.
Hmm.
And she also grew up in a time where America is very different. So her introduction to reality is different than mine as well.
Hmm.
There's all these different things that kind of contribute to what makes her her, but that leads us back to the community part of she can rely on me to be there for her
Hmm.
because I've taken the responsibility to have real conversations with her. Right, so like that trust is established. It's not just with her. There's a
Hmm.
lot of people, but it starts one by one.
Right.
I do one person at a time.
And that's one thing I really love about the group is that it is one by one. It's not like, hey, join into, I mean, we have group events, right? And
Yeah.
but it's not like, hey, just jump into this group thing and that's the only way you get support. And then hopefully you figure it out. It's like there's people there that you can connect with. Like, I mean, everybody I think I've talked to is like, yeah, call me, text me. If you need anything, like let's connect. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Same
it's
here. I want
you know,
to leave my information in the description or whatnot. However they say it. However the young
yeah.
cats say
I don't know. I don't know what they say. I use my own language.
it. Nice.
So I
No,
am
it's
not into
sarcasm.
all the slang and all of the memes, and I really don't know. So
Oh my goodness, my the other day, I overheard this older guy. He's talking about, man, look, this funny meme I was watching on my phone, and the guy was like, "What?" He was like, "This meme, you want me to send it to you?" He was like, "What?" He was like, "What do you not get? Like memes have been out since like the early 2000s." He's like, "Are you saying meme?" And this guy, and, and this old guy, like his face, he was like his whole
Aw,
life flashed before his eyes because he's been saying the word wrong this whole time.
yeah.
It was so funny to me. But so you're doing something right. You're saying the word right.
Well, yeah. I just, I'm at the point now where it's thankfully too using the tools, I really don't care. Like if somebody's gonna judge me now, like good on you. Like I
Yeah.
honestly now realize like when there's a judgment, whether I have a judgment about someone or a situation or someone has a judgment about me, it actually says more about myself or that person than it does about you know, like so if somebody has a judgment against me now, it's not really a me thing, it's something that they have that they are having to deal with and maybe haven't yet. Right. And the same
Yes.
thing with me. If I come up and I go, oh, there, and I notice myself judging something, I have to come back to me and go, okay, where am I having this judgment about myself? Where am I not feeling like this is correct in myself now? Because the only way I could have that judgment is if there's some kind of judgment within me. And that's something I'm like, so it's an awareness point now where I'm like, oh, and of course, we're never going to get to that point of being absolute perfection and that there's no judgments anymore. But every time now it's being able to catch that and go, okay, there's something more for me to look into and go through and, something in my upbringing or my belief system still that's, because otherwise we'd have no judgments of anyone, right? There would be no judgments if we didn't
Mhm.
have something holding us on from our past or from our beliefs or anything like that. We would just accept people and situations at face value and then move from there.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like levels that someone goes through. You first start at the level of which most people are at, where someone walks by that's obese, damn, they fat. Like, and it's like like everywhere around your life, just judging, 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 judging.
Mm-hmm.
Not even on purpose. And some of times they're on purpose, but a lot of them are not on purpose. They're just
Mm-hmm.
automatically coming up as thoughts.
Yeah.
And so that's at this level, you don't realize you think that your thoughts are you.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds crazy, but at this level, they think that their thoughts are them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's more like they don't even see an issue with this. Like this is just like, yeah, they're fat. Okay.
Right.
Or this person is ugly, or this person is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, then they get to a slightly different level where it's like where they recognize that those judgments are like the saying would be not nice, right? Oh,
Right.
they're fat. Oh, I just had a bad thought, right? So now they're judging their their selves, but they're
Mm-hmm.
judging the thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're ugly. Oh, that's a bad thought. That's a mean thought. Don't think that. And so then the next level of awareness that you get to is now instead of judging the thought, you start um instead of judging the thought and judging yourself, you start looking at, is this a link to an insecurity?
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference, right? The first one is just like you're just pointing the blame finger at yourself of like, hey, don't do that. That's bad.
Yeah.
The next one is, okay, why did I just think that person was like, why did I know they're obese, but why did I have to make it a point to say that in my head? And in a way that was kind of mean. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is this? What does this have to do with anything, right? Is this linked to maybe I'm insecure of my own weight, right? Is that maybe something because there you gotta imagine not everybody in the world would have that thought. So that
Right.
means there's only something that's within you and these other people who also have that thought that is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that thing? Right? Figure it out for yourself, and that's a whole nother process that
Yeah.
we'll talk if you guys want to reach out to me. But that step is very, very difficult because it requires a lot of self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
and you start getting answers that you don't want.
Right.
Right? Like um for the majority of my life, I was stuck at the first level,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even care about level two, which is like you know, hey, bad thought. Like I didn't even care
Mm-hmm.
about that because like these are my own thoughts. They're personal to me. I don't care. But it was just pointing the finger, like you're a bad person. You're stupid. It was more you're stupid. That was a thought that I had a lot. Like you're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then eventually being a part of this community, I kind of gradually moved up towards this third level and kind of saw, okay, the reason why I have that thought of you're dumb is because I was always trying to fulfill this character of being smart. Like I always wanted to
Mm-hmm.
seem smart to other people because growing up, I felt like my parents thought that I was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So and that was its own like there's a bunch of traumatic memories associated with that where I didn't feel valued from a standpoint of intelligence, so I tried to overcompensate, and now I'm like pointing the finger at other people.
Mm-hmm.
So this third level is when you start kind of looking at that, and then I from experience now I see now that I think there's a fourth level above that, which is um which is sorry, two levels. So the fourth level is now you're questioning it. Sorry, the third level is you're questioning it. You're questioning
Mm-hmm.
it. You're like, okay, is this related to an insecurity? The fourth level is you're actually dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So actively, anytime you see a thought come up, you're like, that's linked to something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me let me figure that out. Because thoughts are the seed that grow into actions. And so you wonder why there's so much abuse in the world is because it starts with one thought and then it kind of grows into a word, some words that you say. The thought
Mhm.
kind of graduates into some words, and then those words turn into deeds. Now you have this whole big tree of actions that you've done that originated from this one thought. And that
Mhm.
thought was there because of this traumatic experience. So it didn't even have to be traumatic. It could just be like an experience that you had, right? But
Mhm.
general point is now at the fourth level, you start taking care of those thoughts because you know that they grow into other things that are not
Mm.
best for other people.
Right.
And then I think level 5 is understanding where everybody else is at on this chart,
Mhm.
right? And because even at level 4, you can meet someone that is like judging you, and you be like, okay, no, they're just a judger. Okay, I'm gonna fix myself, but they're just a judger, and not
Mhm.
realizing that that's also a judgment. And it's so it's very tricky. It takes some practice for sure, but at
Mhm.
level 5, when you're able to kind of identify, and it's not like I don't go around like thinking, okay, this person is here, this person is here.
Mhm.
It's more of like when I have a conversation with someone and I could tell they just had a judgment. Um, Before I used to take it so personal.
Yeah.
Right? Before I was like, this person is judging me. Oh, it's
Mhm.
no, they might not understand it, but they're judging themselves. And
Mhm.
that judgment within that person is going to create something that they don't want in the future.
Yeah.
So, how can I support this person see that that judgment is actually not serving them in a positive way? And
Mhm.
so now, instead of in the past where people would judge me, I'd just be like, F you. I don't want anything to do
Mhm.
with you. Now it's turned to when someone is judging me, I look at how can I help that person. And it's really it took a lot for me to get there because it's like, why do you care about people who are obviously judging you or don't care about you?
Mhm.
But again, you just return to what am I here to create? I want peace on earth. You can never have peace when everyone's judging each other.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever out loud broken it down like that with the levels.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing I read that kind of got me there, but it makes so much sense to me after doing so much interest, so much inner looking, so much process, right?
Mhm.
It's so clear. Um, Excuse me. That's interesting. I might want to write that down.
No, awesome.
Thanks.
Uh, yeah, no, it's just I find it really interesting as you're growing as a person, or at least me. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for myself as growing as a person. How much things and using the tools, how much things I'm able to just let go of that used to have such a huge effect and hold on me, right?
Mm,
Whereas now it's like because of having the tools and being able to, like, even just between, like, if I'm on a call or something in between calls, and maybe there was a moment where somebody was just getting me a little more riled, I can just take that moment and go, okay, I can breathe through this, and I can just go do a little bit of self-forgiveness here and go, okay, what's really triggering? Like, why is this coming up? Okay, let me work on that later. Right.
mm,
Whereas before, it would have been, I would have had a bad call with somebody, and then that bad call would have dragged that energy through the rest of my day. Right. And I
mm,
would be holding on to that bad energy and not knowing why that person was affecting me so much, when it was like, I'll probably never even speak to that person again.
yeah.
Right. But it's and really interesting for me to see the growth and, like, how as a person. So um and being able to acknowledge when there's things, you go, okay, there's something there, okay, let me do this now.
Yeah. It's also cool too when people tell you like that they see the difference as well.
Mm,
Because even when it's cool when you're able to recognize it, um, because like say you're for example going to the gym, right? You you may notice the differences like a little bit, like especially if you're looking at pictures from before and after.
mm-hmm,
but it's going to be a little bit harder because you're doing it every single day. You see yourself in the mirror every single day.
Right.
Right. Someone else though will come and be like, "You're a different person. You lost so much weight," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." Me being consistent every single day is actually, it has an effect that other people can recognize. It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
another cool thing about having a community too. They can keep you honest and say, "Hey, like this is where you were, so this is where you're at now." Is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think that's important to hear too, because you're right. We don't see
Yeah.
immediate difference. We might see over long term, hey, my clothes fit differently now, like for the gym example, right? Than they did before. And
Hmm.
or I have to go buy new clothes now because everything's now too big on me.
Yeah.
So like eventually you see those results, but it's important having that community just telling you, hey, do you know, like 2 months ago, like you weren't even doing this, or you were, acting this way, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm gonna ask you this, and I ask everyone, when you were like, if you want to go back to your 10-year-old self, what advice would you give him?
This is difficult because when I was 10, honestly, yeah, I don't know if it's taking everyone else this long to figure that answer out, but um, what I was experiencing when I was 10 years old was so horrific that I don't know if I would be able to get through to that version of like there's so much going on at that time where I didn't listen to when I was 10, I didn't listen to anybody because I didn't trust anybody. And I guess if there's some way that I can like just hop in a time capsule and say, "Hey, I'm the future you," um, I guess I just tell them to not give up. There's something waiting for you in the future. Just wait. Um, because yeah, at 10 years old, I don't think there was much I could have done to avoid all that I was getting, or all the abuse I was receiving.
Mm.
Maybe I could have said stuff like, "Hey, like just listen," or just do what your parents tell you, right? But everyone told me that. So it's more of like I would have just told myself, "Hey, just stick it out." And maybe that coming from literally knowing it's my future version would have done something, right? I may be going way too literal into the question, way too literal, actually. But when I was younger, I liked looking at like science stuff and time travel. So this question, I'm thinking about it on a different level. And maybe I'm not. Maybe people do answer it this way. I don't know, but I'm literally thinking about the implications of, the grandfather paradox.
Not really, no.
Okay, this will be fun. Okay, so the grandfather paradox is a time travel thing, right? It it suggests, say you go back in time to go
Mm.
kill your grandfather.
Mm.
That would mean that your grandfather doesn't have your mom and dad, or mom or dad, and then they don't have you, which means you would cease to exist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you cease to exist, then that means you wouldn't have been able to go back and kill your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, which one happens?
Mm.
So I used to be into stuff like that where I'm like really thinking about like the ripple, the time space continuum. So you asked me that question, I went the whole like science route, and would it would have done anything because of the emotional state I was in. But I think honestly, if yeah, I would say just Just because here's the thing, like the real support I needed would have been a person there with me all the time.
Mm,
A phrase or a statement I don't think would have done as much help as it would do for other people.
mm,
Um, there was so much going on at that time. So I would just the only thing I could think of is, hey, stick through it. You will find what you need later. Stick through it.
mhm.
Yeah. Didn't mean to go there on you.
No, no, that's good. I'm just taking it in and sitting with it. And you did say something about, what you needed then was somebody to be there all the time. And I think that's something that we can really take hold on now and use in our own lives, especially with children. If anybody's having their own children, or, maybe they're even aunts or uncles to, their siblings' children, or even a mentor to someone's children, taking on that, being there for them.
Yeah. Yeah. 1000%.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. He's Keaka. I'm sorry, my son, Keaka.
Mm-hmm.
Um, definitely gonna do everything in my power to make sure he knows he has a support system. Right. Um, now we're gonna welcome failure. So it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for you to fall. It's all right for you to make mistakes. But we're also going to welcome and encourage, hey, let's try to figure it out. And if you already tried every single thing, then let's try to help from here. At the end of the day, I want to build. I want to be able to create a son or daughter when if we have a daughter, um, who has the skills of being able to figure it out. An adult who knows how to get anything he wants, because when he was a child, he always had to figure it out. If I want to be a millionaire, figure it out. If I want the best relationship, figure it out. Right? If I want to be in politics, figure it out. If I want to end world hunger, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you if though if that way of thinking, if that way of thinking isn't developed when you're a kid, it's much harder to instill as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So even just being there for him in that way, right? Not just being there physically, but also being there to help develop some of
Mm-hmm.
these patterns, right? So just I have really big plans for the future for my children. I want them to be world leaders,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. Um, and we all have the power to do that. It's like, how much of that power are you realizing?
Mm-hmm.
So,
And being world leaders in a different way than maybe what we've seen so far.
1000%, yes. World leaders for the people, for in the best way possible. Um, I didn't consider all that, but yeah, definitely. Because a lot of people, they'll look at politics and they'll look at our president, and they'll blame, which I get, I understand. And they're like, the reason the world is messed up is because our new president. I'm like, the world's been messed up.
It's been messed
Like,
up for thousands of years.
yeah, it's like it's all the presidents have made it bad.
Yeah.
um, uh, I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, there's nothing. There's a president, and I'm like, well, that's why the whole world is the way it is, because we don't
Mm-hmm.
think that we can do anything. Like, it's literally not a thought that occurs in most people. Why don't I try to become president and change the things that I see are not helping the world? That's not really a thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's their confidence is so shot that that's not even a thing that they think they can do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we're looking at stuff with our kids and educating to the point where they can see, okay, Homelessness is bad, right? Suicide rates are at an all-time high. There's starving children on earth, really. Like there's so many issues that are not being taken care of. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, most of our money is just going to war and blowing up people. So like my kids will be able to see that it's an obvious problem and they'll be able to figure it out. Like if at least if they want to. That's what we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna because here's it sounds really like kumbaya cliche of like we want to help change the world. But there it's like even if you don't believe it can be helped, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna die trying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because even in the attempt to help the world become better, I have changed something. And I know I'm probably not even going to see it in my own lifetime. This is like a much, bigger point, right? But if I've helped one person, that's more than what a lot of people have done.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's more than what a lot of people believe that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
If I help one person, then that one person helps somebody else. Then that other person helps somebody else. Now that's four people, or yeah, it's four. That's three people because I've helped one person. So one turned into three.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have these three people who each help one person. Now you have six because I helped one person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the only one person helping. We have thousands of people in this community. So you just do the math. Change can happen. You have to allow it. Right? There has to be a
Yeah.
detox for sure.
Yeah.
The purification process, however you want to call it. Like,
Yeah.
just there has to be some self reflection.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And, part of that is, I mean, I think that's probably the hardest part for a lot of us is the self-reflection, because now we can't put the blame on anybody else. We have to be responsible and say, okay, this is how I contribute to this.
mhm, yeah, yeah, and that's it's really hard because being a victim means that you don't have to do anything to fix your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that you can continue to participate in the energy possession that comes with being a victim. I'm only speaking from experience. It took a lot to come to realize some of these points, but if they say misery loves company.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that until I stopped being miserable. Because I was like, I hate being miserable. But then I wasn't anymore. And it was this very weird understanding of like, wait, I was actually comfortable being depressed.
Mm.
It sounds so backwards out loud because you don't want to be depressed. But in a way, there's a comfort there, even with misery and the whole victim feeling, right? But it's like obviously that leads to so many other bad things. So I'd
Yeah.
rather be comfortable in a nice neighborhood in a nice house, some some nice cars, the beautiful
Yeah.
family, good food. I'd rather have that comfort
Yeah.
and the comfort of knowing that um, I'm doing everything I can to create a world that is best for all.
Mm.
So that's a process that gets to that level of comfort, but
Yeah. A
right,
lot of process, a lot of work, and dedication and determination, because you're going to be determined one day and not be dedicated, and dedicated one day and not determined, right? So you have to have both, because figuring out why is it so important for you to have those things, and not continuing to live in the normal that you're used to, right?
yeah, hmm yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we could probably talk forever. I mean, I know, like, we get to events and stuff, and we sit there and we talk till
Yeah,
like 4 a.m, and then we
yeah.
realize we have to get a few hours of sleep before the next day.
Oh
So,
my goodness, happens all the time.
but I'm gonna let you go with your family and spend some time with them. But before I let you go, I just want to ask you: is there any last piece of advice or anything else that you want to share?
Brush your teeth twice a day. Get good sleep. Make sure you're eating good foods. I'm just playing. No, seriously, for the people listening, because right, I'm not like fully into social media, so I don't know what group of people this will hit, right? But for anybody listening, if you have those doubts of, I don't know if I will be able to create the life I want. If you're having those feelings, if you're struggling with the relationship point, the money point, any of these things that you're like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. And if that bothers you enough, please reach out to me because I have several stories that I can share with you that might be able to help. So I'll leave it
Right.
at that.
Right. Well, thank you so much, JohnAnthony. I really enjoyed speaking with you today, and this has been
I
just an
enjoyed this too.
amazing conversation. So I appreciate you being here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Catherine, for having me. This was really nice, and I learned some stuff too about myself. So it's actually really really good. I like doing this.
Oh,
Thank you.
awesome. You're
Yes,
welcome.
ma'am. You have a great
Good.
rest of your day.
You too. I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am.